First of all, I want to give credit to Tulane. They played really good and they really made some tough shots. I think they shot like 64% in the second half and like 30 some in the first half, which is incredible. Great job by them. Um, it wasn't emphasis, but we just know we got to fight every time, and no matter what, we're just gonna keep doing that. That's the recipe for the rest of the season.
Some scorers talk about having an indication that a big performance is coming. Either warm-ups went well or practice. Do you have any indication that a 27-point game might be on your future tonight?
No. Especially because I came out with the injury. I came back from the injury. I missed one game. Played last two games with a little bit fear for my ankle, and I just did everything before the game, just before every other game. I just played hard, played for tried to win, and 27 points just came by themselves. Next game is going to be somebody else.
What was there something that you noticed right away that was a little different about you guys tonight that maybe wasn't there the last couple games?
Yeah, we acted more as a team even though we lost the game, and even though we're losing games, we have like 3 games losing streak. I feel like we're getting better as a team, and eventually we're gonna start winning the games. It's a long season to go. We got 15 games more, right?
How much do you talk about, as among you and your teammates, how much do you just talk about keeping your head up and morale and enthusiasm?
Every single day. But I think we're, as a characters, every individual is like that. So we're not emphasizing that much. That's in our DNA. Just keep going, keep your head up, and we're gonna start winning the game eventually. I'm pretty sure.
Was tonight encouraging?
Yes.
How come?
Because we saw a lot of good things, even though we lost the game. We beat them we struggled with rebounds last 2 games, and we beat them 45 to 27 in rebounds today. That's one thing.
That's what I was going to ask next. You had a big margin in the rebounds. Was that simply effort, out hustling them, or was there something about the way you guys attacked the boards tonight?
And I would add one more thing. We had 23 assists. That's encouraging too. Can you repeat the question one time? Sorry.
Yeah, the big margin on the rebounds, was it simply effort by you and your teammates, or was there something different about the way you attacked the boards?
That was just, I see that as a willingness to win the game. Just a little bit more effort, yeah.
Zach felt like he took a hard fall in the first half. Looked like he was in some pain, was hurting, and he never really came out. I guess just he seems like he's got a lot of fight in him.
Yeah.
Do you see that in him?
Yeah, definitely. Especially us young players, we look up to him at those things. He always keeps fighting. He always keeps his head up, and yeah, he's a fighter, definitely.
88 points is enough to win a basketball game, and in the absence of Zurich, that level of output and relative efficiency is good. Considering we started the game so slow offensively, at about, I think it was the 11:48 mark of the second half. It was 33-34 at halftime, and I looked up and it was 63-60 with just under 12 minutes to go. So there was a lot of scoring. I think difference in the game really is there was a stretch where we just couldn't put together stops, and they shot 64% for the game. It's hard to win a game like that. We felt like we needed to win the backboard, and we out-rebounded them 45-27 with 18 offensive rebounds. But I know Ron is willing to concede the rebounding in lieu of their ability to score the ball in high possession games, and so that difference didn't make the difference in the game, unfortunately. But I am proud of the group. When you're building and trying to get better as a team, we had a rough week. We got humbled in Houston, and it carried into UCF, and they could have been still licking their wounds, but we had a good response. What's today? Wednesday, Monday. We had a great practice yesterday. We had a spirited and energetic shoot around today, and we had a great effort tonight that didn't result in a game, but it's more of a disappointing outcome than a discouraging effort. and that's important when you're trying to grow and improve. And they made some tough shots. Holloway made a couple of key shots in the game, and then Forbes and Cook took over and kind of dominated the game. So disappointing outcome, not discouraged.
You know, being humbled after those previous two games, I mean, did you say anything specifically heading into this one, like, hey, you know, we got to really ramp up effort, or, you know, was there any specific message?
Good question. Yeah. You know what? I mean, I said a lot of stuff. And, you know, the big thing is we've got to continue to exhibit growth. We went to Hawaii and we became a team, and we showed some flashes of what we could become. And then we came home and we followed up on that somewhat. And we had a really efficient offensive game that might have been wrapped with a little bit of fool's gold. And, you know, I think we played against a really formidable opponent at Houston, and we weren't quite ready for prime time. And sometimes when you're feeling good about yourself and you get knocked down, it's a little bit harder to get back up. And so we stumbled into UCF, and they're a really good team. And one of the things that happened in Hawaii is that we played well, but we didn't. One thing was missing is that we weren't rebounding. We weren't fighting for rebounds. And we told them it's going to be different when we get to Houston, but they had to see it for themselves. They were playing the best offensive rebounding team maybe in the country, certainly the best in the league, and then we go to Central Florida and play the second best offensive rebounding team. And so that weakness reared its head, and so we came in kind of licking our wounds on Monday, but we responded pretty well. We put ourselves in a position to win the game tonight and didn't close out the game, but it was more of a normal conference matchup where one team beat the other team. But I'm not disappointed in our effort. There's some technical things we got to get better at that we can address.
How big was Steph for you? Not just obviously tonight, putting up the points and keeping you guys in the game, but also maybe for him moving forward, seeing that ball go through the hoop as much as it did tonight.
Yeah, it was great. Something that we know that he can do, right? But you know, he had 10 rebounds. You know, so I think there's a correlation. You know, I got after him after the Central Florida game. He and one of his teammates, just about their disposition. Like the shooting and the opportunities come with the minutes come with a disposition. And so when you're really talented like he is, you're out there. It's just hard. I say it all the time. It's hard to make shots from the bench. So how do you get enough trust to be in the game enough to do what got you here, right? But generally, for most kids, what gets you into these programs is not what gets you on the floor, right? So you have to give to the team more. And when Steph's getting 10 rebounds, that's an indication that he's engaged at a level, and he's out there more. And when he's out there like that, the ball will go in if he gets enough looks.
Steph said that coming off the Houston and UCF games and obviously being disappointed to come away with a loss tonight, he said that he's still very encouraged by the way the team responded to those two trips and performed tonight. Are you as encouraged as he is?
I don't know if I'm as encouraged as he is. I don't know how to measure that, but I am encouraged. I am encouraged. You know, this is a unique group, and a lot of guys who are getting, you know, like Keon's second start in college, and Ricardo just starting to get some minutes, and you got some other guys that are playing a different role than they've ever had. And through some of our disappointments, we went to Hawaii and we fought off the ropes, and now we're back on the ropes, and we got to find a way to do that again. And their approach and actions suggest that we'll find a way to do that.
You mentioned that Ron's willing to sacrifice rebounds for point scoring. I guess going into Cincinnati, do you want to see if this rebounding effort and ability to get rebounds kind of translates into another opponent?
That's what we need. Yeah, that's really what we need, because, you know, we're going to see everybody twice, and that's critical for our success. You know, we don't have that margin for error to be out hustled and outworked. And so we've got to get better in that area. So Saturday is a great challenge for us for sure.
What was maybe one of the bigger things you saw, and I'm sure you'll see more on film, but, kind of the first 10 minutes, it seemed like you guys had the better of things in the second half. Last 10 minutes, it seemed like they were kind of getting things going offensively. Was it just them making shots? Were your guys relaxing on defense a little bit? Was there anything that you saw from the bench over that stretch?
Not relaxing on defense, no, not at all. I do think there was a measure of fatigue. We had some guys play a lot of minutes. At one point, there was a really long stretch where the whistle didn't blow, and we had 3 guys on the court asking for a blow at the same time. So rotation-wise, we wound up with some funky rotations at times because, we had to get guys out of the game. But I think Cook and Forbes imposed their will a little bit, 2 all-conference caliber players kind of stepped up and did that. And then Holloway made a couple of really big shots for them at a critical time. And then they had a couple of and ones where Cross came back in the game. He had some foul trouble, and he came back and asserted himself. So some of it, I think more of it had to do with their players making plays than us lax. But we definitely had some lapses and some miscommunications that led to some opportunities. But sometimes guys get a shot and they don't make it. They made theirs. So credit to them.
You started this by saying 88 points is enough to win a basketball game, and obviously you didn't have Zerg Phelps tonight, and Zach Nuttall took a hard foul in the first half and looked like he was in some discomfort. Are you surprised you're even sitting here talking about an 88-point performance considering the physical limitations you had in the backcourt?
No, I think we have those capabilities, and I think matchup-wise, this was a game that if we made our share of shots, that we could be more effective. But, there's probably upwards of about 70 possessions in the game. So high possession game like that lends itself to a little bit more scoring. So I think it has something to do with that. But we still had to score the points. They scored, 97, but we could have scored 60. So we did score 88, and obviously Steph's performance, but we had, I think, 5 guys in double digits. FA had a season high, and I thought he could have got some more calls, on some contact there. And I think some of the refs think I'm a nice guy, and they always tell me, you know what, Rob, we missed that one. I'm so tired of hearing that, But I got that 3 times, then I was disappointed in that. So.
Zach's had a couple falls this season where it looks like he's in pain tonight. He had one. Didn't really look like he wanted to come out at all, though. I guess, would you kind of characterize him as someone who's willing to fight through these injuries to kind of keep on the court and keep playing?
Yeah, absolutely. Zach's a tough, competitive guy who's all in and wants to win. And as much as he puts into it, that's how disappointed he gets. And he'll come back tomorrow. He'll have a great attitude, and he'll be great at practice on Friday. And he'll do the same thing on Saturday. And I know that. He'll do that for the rest of the year, and he's a joy to coach. And I'm really enjoying coaching these guys right now as a group, to be honest with you. I'm as disappointed as they are. Sometimes you're disappointed because you spend so much of your energy trying to get guys to realize how hard they have to play to win a college basketball game. And spent a fair amount in that zone this year as a coach, and that's a frustrating way to coach when you're trying to build a program. When you get past that, then you start coaching strategy, and I was allowed to do that when we were in Hawaii, and I felt like tonight we were coaching basketball. There were some effort things that always happen in a game, but I didn't feel like collectively that we didn't come to fight. We just didn't come out on top, and so we can dig in and figure out how to get better.
Do you have a timetable on Zurich?
Day to day. Yep.
It might be a little obvious, but just how important is Saturday for you guys? Another home opportunity, and to try and snap this losing streak and hopefully maybe start a winning streak.
Yeah, we can't think about streaks. We can't think about any of that stuff. We just got to have a good day tomorrow, assess it, and keep trying to get better. We're not going to get an at-large bid. Breaking news, right? So we have to get better and play our best basketball by the end, and we just got to keep getting better. And you don't do that with it, thinking about streaks. You do it really trying to hone in on where you are right now and what you got to do to move that needle.